Well, hello, everyone. Happy, beautiful Friday. This last wonderful day of March, the 31st. So this video is really spontaneous with Michael and I, because Michael is still in Mexico.
You can hear the chachalacas in the background, the wild chickens that might be making their preference of singing. So if you hear any wild birds, it's the chachalacas.
That's great. You can't hear it at all, actually.
They're just very loud in the background here.
So Michael and I wanted to just come on live with you all because it's been about 3 weeks or so that we have not been able to be live here on Ascension Alchemy with you because of our travel schedule, and Michael is still in Mexico. He extended his trip, so he comes back Sunday night. And before going to April, we just wanted to come on and say hi, and so you can see the face of both of us. You've seen some posts from Michael, you've seen my posts, but I figured it would be really wonderful to see both of us, and we get to hear about what's happening with Michael in Mexico, and just, gosh, like from Maryland here as we're wrapping up the month of March and we're going into April. So Michael, why don't we start with you? You left on the, what was it, like the 12th or so? You left for Maryland, and it's been on.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a huge, just magnificent shift of vibration and frequency, moving all the way to the spring equinox, and energy is just vamping up, and it's been phenomenal to see how, going to Maryland, going to Mexico, there's just this been feeling of just community. And I really appreciate that feeling of community because it's a reflection of our community in the way that, there's such a powerful connection when we can all come together and we can really share that love. And I love with the Ascension Alchemy Ministry, it's given the opportunity for many people just to come together and feel that support and feel that love. So being in Mexico and riding these waves of just positive energy and seeing how much has been lifted and expanding, I feel there's a direct correlation to our sacred Ascension Alchemy Ministry, because we see it growing and expanding with all that's moving through. So I'm excited to take these frequencies that have been anchored both in Maryland, in Mexico, a little triangle from Florida, and we'll come back Sunday to continue what I believe is just this, I don't know how you feel, honey, is just this uplifting energy that I feel before the equinox, into the equinox, and now this beautiful birthing, seeding process of our divine sovereignty, our divine truth, our divine liberation of what it's really being called for us to stand in our fullest expression. And it's wild to see how that can maneuver when you're in different areas and still hold that same passion, that same joy, that same ability to see how important that is, that there is a calling for a community. There is a element where people are looking to be a part of a spiritual group, so they can feel that within the times that may seem a little chaotic outside of our own world. So it's been a journey here, and I just feel very grateful to feel that communal love and anchor that through the healings, the connections, and also through our beautiful group here of how it's expanding, evolving, and just honoring you, honey, of kind of holding the the whole system together, because I know with our association, there's been so much legwork that you've done. And since I've been busy a lot with the healings and planting seeds in Mexico of events, I'm just very grateful that you've been holding the lead and really allowing a lot of our sacred, beautiful programs to be brought forward in its beautiful elegance. So thank you, love.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I wanted to find out from you, and you can share a little bit, because you went to Maryland. You've been when we go there, there's quite a bit, between the sessions and all of that, the private sessions, because so many seeking. It's interesting, like, the energy that's seeking these private sessions. Then we had, of course, our family time, for the equinox, and which is the Persian New Year, and just getting all of that ready, and then from there leaving for Mexico. And this was like after 5 years, after 5 years, you return back there into a community that you love so much. There's like such a big part of you that's still part of that. And then then like your own individual expression, because we've been serving together for so many years, and then you get to do it yourself, which has been just really awesome to watch that you take it on your own, and then serve it, and just be in that energy that fills you and supports you so much the way you like it. And and like what for you, as like this March is wrapped up, like what is something that like has really awoken in you, Michael?
Well, I feel what's awoken in me is, personally, I just feel this, it's hard to describe in words, but this rise of crystalline energy, this is powerful sensation that I've really started to see, even when coming back to Maryland, through healing sessions, through being with family, through being with you, honey, in our time, where I just feel this elevation of this deep God presence that wants to be expressed larger. It wants it, like this element of like, it's time to come out even bigger. It's time to move from the comfort zone, playing small, and now really grasping. Because even in Sayalita here, I've noticed things are shifting so fast in what I'm doing that it's almost like I'm being reactivated in a town that I spent 10 years, so that it's activating me, so that as I come back, there's a whole unique energy that's swirling within me. So there's just been this increase of joy, happiness, but really I'm noticing within my hands specifically, really channeling a whole new frequency that has been allowing me to go much deeper into what I usually do. So I feel this March energy, this spring equinox has really lifted a higher version of myself through the dedication of our prayers, meditations, and just connection to the divine, like our devotion, our ability to feel what it is to really live of devotion to our Christ itself, to our ability to live in action. Now, obviously, some days are much easier than others, and there's some bumps along the roads with whether it's communication or just the busyness of life that kind of moves around, plus 2 hours behind the East Coast time. But for March, I feel like it's given me the opportunity really to rise greater. I mean, I feel like when I did these events, there was this feeling of like, wow, I'm usually with you, and there's this feeling of like collaboration. I really miss having you by my side, but at the same time, there was this feeling of like, okay, I've worked with you, I've facilitated with you, you've helped me see so much about me, which I'm just so grateful for. Like, you've given me like everything that I could possibly imagine of what it is to be a sacred masculine, and then to take that on the road and know that you were here by my side in spirit, and to feel that energy, and then to do that and be like, wow, that gratitude is just of deep love of having our experiences together and wanting them to do them together. But this was a time that I did it by myself and just felt that beautiful strength and empowerment of like, wow, I can do this, whether it's 27 people, 15 people. It gave that, just rise of empowerment, which I don't know how you're feeling. I think we've talked about, but this feeling of like, there's just expansion, this growth, this rebirth of who we are. So it's amazing that we can, in this time period, to feel it, but also administer it in a way through our labor of love, through our what we do that makes us feel very happy. And one area that I love is to work with individuals one-on-one or in a group and feel that energy, to be that in that cultivation of it during this time. It is such a blessing. So thank you for that question, love. I know it was a long-winded around, but I just want to give a perspective of like how this journey's been, because I mean, to remind myself, it literally has been since the 12th of March. I never thought it would be all the way to the beginning of April, but sometimes we just have to ride the wave and see how it allows us to move next.
Yeah, thank you for, that question, because the members may or may not know, like since the 12th you left, I mean, we've barely spent any time together physically. And this was a very interesting space because of the amount of things that were taking place between, the travel, being back home, getting things ready, and also what I was experiencing with family, this very personal, very difficult, with which most of our Ascension Alchemy members don't know and wouldn't know, what a very, very difficult situation that I have been in and moving through with my family. And for me, it's been a very different experience and it's been part of, in such a perfected way, this imperfection, this very like really hardship and hurtship. And for some of you may not know, like from a very, 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 very close family member, somebody was very, I can't even get into it, but it was so I was really wrongfully accused of various things. And it's somebody that's extremely close to us. And at the end of the day, Michael and I, we know we have to sit with our own consciousness. And it's been a labor of a lot of love shared and recognition that for whatever reason, this person is in a very dark place, and every ammunition of just darks is coming out. And what this gift gave me was, it couldn't have been more perfect, because as Michael left, all of this had started, and coming to Maryland and going through just all the family stuff. There's quite a bit. And most of you know, I don't talk about what happens. I've learned not to talk. I've learned not to call girlfriends. I've learned to go through it and meet all that shows up, and also embrace my tears, embrace the difficulty, and recognizing that this all is giving me the opportunity to be, like, truly be with my I am. My I am is coming in this, and my I am is ready to experience this density and really bring it to the light. So it couldn't have been more perfect when Michael went to Mexico from Maryland. And I've just been on my tiptoe which direction things are going to go, because like everything is falling apart, yet there's a part that's falling into place. So equinox was really profound, all that's transpired, but it seemed like it was more transpiring within the family dynamic. Meanwhile, there was a lot that was transpiring in me. So when Michael left to Mexico, my son was also leaving for Miami, and it gave me this space of just complete aloneness. And from that, this sort of metamorphosis began taking place in me. The depth of meditation that I've been sitting in and receiving so much inner side. And one of the biggest things that leads to Tuesday is this Atlantean template that has played part in our consciousness, in our psyche, that's been controlled, manipulated, psyop, that has played in my family, played in me, played in Michael, played in all of our lives, that ties into this victim consciousness, that ties into poverty consciousness, that ties into being disempowered and giving your power away, and it ties into playing this role of savior, playing all of these things. So all of this, I started seeing the patterns of it, and I started seeing how this cap is placed on majority of us. And there's we say we're divine sovereign, but yet the cap is right there, does not allow you. So I was shown how to remove this, how to go through it. So it's been hours and hours and hours and hours of sitting meditation. And it couldn't have been more perfect that Michael has been sitting in Mexico there, and I've been in this space. I can finally have time for me and meet these and bring this forward. And the true recognition that this Atlantean power that plays in our society. That's why you've seen my videos about the AI, how it ties into this, the changes in economy, the changes in banking system, the changes in dynamic, changes in relationships. Like all of these things are part of it, because there's this massive internal compass that has come on, and it changes all relations, all dynamic. But first is the relation within you, when you're recognizing no more, you can no longer violate you, sacrifice you, compromise you, because the true divine love is coming in, and it no longer, and it wants to share the purity of that divine love. It doesn't want to anymore tolerate this excuses and explanations and people defending the limitations versus standing in their gracious essence. So a lot of that has come forward in me, and it's a very interesting place. And there's a shift in dynamic with Michael and I, because this also brings it as we go into the month of April, as he comes and he comes on 4/2. It's interesting, this relation with him. So it's like we've had to go apart, go through our own experience and our own walk. And as we come together, what wants to be fed in understanding Ascension Alchemy, which is about alchemizing ascension, which is about descension, which is about how we are embodying that true essence in us, and that truth of it is not the way it's been played out. It's not the way that we have lived, operated. So I've now seen this new operating system. I feel like my metamorphosis is this new operating system that I'm very happy to operate from. So a lot of these other ways that went so out of the way, and of course, Michael and I, in our dynamic, being so pleasing and try to be, kind of go out of your way to satisfy, please. All of this is on the wayside, because the truth of it is to share the purity space of divine love. And those are faulty human limitations that ties into this matrix of Atlantean that we've carried for 12,500 years. And it has shackled us from being who we really are, was meant to be. And to bring these heavenly goods on earth, we can't do it when we keep living in defending our limitation, why we are not showing up in grace fully, why we are not showing up in our light fully, not to blast the light at anyone, not to even extend energy to anyone, none of that, but to completely live it, because we came to actually live it and bring that transformation. That is a transformation presence into this consciousness. So that's where I'm really at. And it's so crystal, it's so clear. And for the first time last night, I had the most profound night of my life. I have to say, the way that catapulted, I just want to share this because it ties to this week, the person that has been, these darts coming, it gave me the most incredible opportunity. About 2 days ago, I had so much tears of how wrong this was and how sad it was that someone I love can just be so malicious and all these horrible thoughts, and also felt the compassion of how much this person is suffering from the lenses coming. It's so close. It's so dark. It cannot see. I can see the suffering. It's causing suffering, not just to that person, but our whole family is so incredibly affected. And so from that place, I got to let out this voice of truth in me. And I stood in the calling of that true mighty I am in this Christ light in me. And I housed it in with every particle of truth that I know was me in fullness. And I put my hand on the laptop, and I've entered this place a few times in my life, and I can tell the potency of it. And I just started writing, and it was incredible because it gave me the ability to stand up in such truth, not in defending myself, not in explaining, but purely I opened up to such love. And I even apologized for shit I hadn't done because the person was hurt. I hadn't even done it. Their faulty perception perceived it. But in that, to lift the hurt. And I experienced what the magnificence of this Christ light is, to a point where when this person received it, their computer crashed. It crashed. And, my brother was able to, and this person was so humbled and embarrassed and shamed, how he felt awful and guilty, how awful he had thought. It was as if this frequency of, and before I sent it out, I sat on the computer and I housed it in, and I saw how relaxed I was in the truth and how ginormous it was. And from there, I shared that email when I sent it, and I knew the Christ light went, and I saw what it did. It catapulted like a major transformation. But why I'm sharing, because I keep saying inside of me, the gratitude that this person created this extreme chaos, that it gave me the opportunity to stand, not in defense, stand in the I am that I am. And it ties to what had been already taking place, that is going into here to this 4/4, this incredible gateway into this spring equinox. What it did it's not planetary. A lot of people, unfortunately, are so attached to the astrological planets, and they're just the limited mind, especially in the spiritual community, are so trying to, and it's cute, they're trying to understand, well, Pluto went into this, it hasn't been 200 years. Meanwhile, because of their attachment, they can't even grasp at a soul level, on that plane of the I am, what's taking place, that ties into this artificial intelligence, the AI, ties into changes, ties into the massive change that we're about to see, and there's no turning back. And this is the blueprint of all that I've been able to receive. And going into Ascension Alchemy, it's a whole different playground now. And the pathway of it is the ease in the truth, the capital T, and the trust of that divine love. It's the divine love that stays in the stillness while all the chaos wraps around, and like a tornado, and goes all over. And where are you going to be with it? Because it's called from within to be right in this now of love. The only way is divine love, because you came from it to bring it here. And there's not these attachments anymore. It won't let you. You will get extreme thrown out, and that's part of your journey if you do. So I'm sharing one after another the videos that ties into this 3D, and that's where I'm at. And I feel very thankful that Michael is in his place that he found his space of what's coming in. I'm in this place that's found that, and it'll be interesting how we bring these together into Ascension Alchemy that is about the embodiment of that divine capital truth. And because we're all that which we are. So it's very, very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to April, and we have new members, and there's several new things coming up. I feel one of the things Michael and I are also looking to see, to award, not reward, but award for those of you that are going to be referring people to us, that those that feel they can really truly receive the support. So with the content that we're sharing, that is truly heart-based, truly grounded, not static all over the place, grounded, because you got to be here in this body. And this is the body. Like, I feel like for the first time, I'm falling truly in love with my body is. I keep touching it. I keep holding it like, wow, this is the body I've never really fully ever loved. Like, wow, I'm just so humbled to love it and get to know it. And because that I am wants to love it, and coming from this lens, and to share it through this portal of Ascension Alchemy. And with the award that I'm sharing, Michael and I wanted to not incentivize, but really award in gratitude for referring people to us. So we wanted to find out, with some of you, we've asked question, how would you want to, like, let's say if you're referring somebody, you're on the $22 a month, how would you want to be awarded? What will feel the best to you? Let's say if you're in the $88 a month, and we have the new $144 a month now, because it feels more around. This has been also part of us to know what is our truth, in honor of our truth that feels right in the content we're sharing. So that way it's more balanced with our service, and also in honor to ourselves, in honor to our own divine union, and not overextension, not sacrifice, not compromise, but total truth. So that's why we have the fourth option. So we want to hear from you. How would you like to be awarded for referral you're sending? Let us know. We're very open, because we want to grow together. This is the walk of together. And I want to move away from this unification, because that ties into this psyop also of this crazy Atlantean. This is what I saw. It's psyop of the Atlantean, this unification. The unification is you. You got to be unified in you. And when you're unified, you are in you. We are unified in that oneness. Not we got to be like this. This is such a psyop that I saw a template, like no more. That like, no, we're going to break that. No. You're solely responsible to you in your unification, in your oneness. So, yeah. So what else, Michael, is coming up? We have a couple of new members. We have Jamie Day. She's a phenomenal sister. She's part of our new members starting tomorrow. So is Amy Gray. We're so excited. And we have a few other ones that are coming in. And Michael, I didn't tell you. So I've scheduled Brett Diamond. I love it. So this is about life insurance for those of you who are interested in learning. So he's going to go over the various life insurance and what's the purpose and why it will call to who. And he's part of Michael's Sacred Masculine Circle that for a while I was telling Michael, we got to get life insurance. And Michael's like, nah, for all these years, no. And I was like, Michael, let me explain to you why. So we got a chance to speak around that and how that assists. And it was so wonderful. Brett is a broker, and that's a huge plus when you're working with a broker. So that means he gets to have access to many, just not represent one. And this gives a lot of freedom and the best premiums possible and rate. So Michael and I set up our life insurance for each other. So that means if something happens to Michael, there's this benefit that was supporting me for being able to take care of all of this. And if something happens to me, Michael gets to be benefited from that so that he can continue. And this is one of the acts of love, divine love for each other. So that's coming up, Michael. And I'll be scheduling Charles as well. Charles is the one that we got the health plan alternative to health insurance, because health insurance ties to that yucky energy. Health plan that breathes more. There's a lot more options, and also real fantastic way. So to Michael, Monday, I have my concierge appointment to see how this actually works. So that way, again, just as anything, Michael and I will go through it. We have an authentic experience and it feels aligned. Then we open up to you. So hopefully I feel on that, like probably May will have Charles on. Yeah. Anything else?
I just like to say, I mean, this has been, I feel like, one of the greatest gifts for both of us, because I believe this might be the longest time we've been away from each other in our 7 years. So there's this homecoming of energies, because I feel there's one thing when both of us are together, we feel and we integrate and we activate a lot. And when we're alone, we're still together, but when we're physically in different spaces, we're individually activating in our own journeys, because obviously, we're really focusing on this co-interdependence, not codependence, breaking the codependence things around that I feel a lot of our families have done and just been rooted in for centuries. So this merging back of, I feel, of our diamond ray, and like bringing back what we each experienced it. And then as we anchor that individually, how powerful is it that we get to bring it together and root that in love, root that in April, root that in this spring equinox time frame, because we're still in the first couple of weeks, and then even grow and expand beyond that, because it really shows a great degree of how two can really trust one another, honor one another, love one another, and hold that space as you've done so elegantly for me in Mexico, and have that ability then to bring that forth in our divine union, in how we speak. And I'm just looking forward to both of us being more present together on camera as well as individually. I've been inspired to just keep expanding. I keep receiving. There's so much that I share in a one-on-one on a group session. It's like, now it's time to like really bring these messages out to a larger audience and larger groups. And most important, I just can't wait to see you, love. I can't wait to hold you, to hug you, and just to bring forth our love, because I feel that walking in love and that union really inspires many people. I feel, the heart of Ascension Alchemy Ministry is really this mission to return to our divinity, and that divinity is divine. That divine love is not on the outside, as you express, it's on the inside. So when we can share it as a union, and then we can experience that feeling and just allow that to be the guiding routes, because so many people in Mexico come like, I follow you and honey, oh my gosh, you guys are doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. You've changed, and wow, honey is just phenomenal, and you were a different person than before you met honey. And I was like, I was not who I was till I met honey. My true sacred masculinity did not bloom until I met, my divine partner. So it's really powerful. It's really powerful to feel what has been moving through individually. It's unbelievable what has happened on your end. And I just, look forward to seeing you, hugging you, and just bringing back what has been cultivated here in Maryland. And I believe what all of us are going through is taking that outer chaos of what's happening and bring that divine love, that everything is all right. Everything within us, when we connect to our sacred divine crystalline hearts, that all is good and is in place. The more that we can anchor that and ground that, and most important, embody that, then I feel like then we become the walking Christed-like beings that we know we came here to serve, and to do that from the joy, from the happiness. And what I love what you said is from the ease and grace that we can allow to say this is possible with all the interesting headlines that are heading out there. That's okay. Let that world be that world. as we focus on 5D and higher. So thank you, love, for taking.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and this I really get into on Tuesday. So for any of you that want to take part, it is at 11:11, but you have to email me. And I'm very honest about this. And this is a free event on purpose, because that's a big part of transforming this Atlantean energy that has held back. And there's quite a bit of, you got to own your own divine love. And we're moving out of this, this consciousness, we're moving, we came here to be the fullness of all that we are. And it is complete independent of each other. This is the total important, that sacred marriage within the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine. That's that unification that must take place within. And you have to claim it yourself. And it is not on the outside. This is the revelation within. And that's what's very, very exciting. So you can live from that golden presence. That's the golden age, right? You can't do it if you're dependent on others from that place of the lower 3 chakras and also the mind. It will not take place from the mind. This is why, again, I can't say enough, this Atlantean template ties into the cap over the mind. And many of you are still plugged into that, as I've been plugged into that. Michael's been plugged into that. And there's a lot of time we say the word love, but we cannot show up fully in that love because it's been coming from the limitation of the human construct, not the divine love. And now the opportunity is here to actually truly live from that, which ties into the ease of it, which ties into the magnetic field of it, of just allowing. So it's going to be phenomenal. And I got quite a bit to share on that. So Joan, you just have to email me, read what I wrote. And Michael, anybody else you in Mexico, let them know, send that. So, and I look forward to seeing you, gosh, in 2 days. So it's going to be wonderful. And I'm so excited to also this wonderful month of April for our members and all that will be taking place with some of these changes that we have had. And let us know if you have any questions, anything. We need to heart to hear you. And we are so excited for you to introduce us to others, bring them on, help it, and we grow together. Yeah.
I love it, honey. I feel like as leaders of Ascension, it's so beautiful that we get to share and grow through these personal experiences, because I feel they are so important for others just to hear them, just to understand that many of us are going through big shifts. And as we share them from our hearts and really be raw and real, it gives a lot of guidance. And a lot of people find that sense of like, wow, I'm not the only one going through some massive expansion. So I love how all these are opening up. And I feel like some of this sometimes is a perfect storm of the chaos, the perfect is that it couldn't have happened in any better way, so that these could come up. And many times, you know, as much as we love each other and honor each other and couples love each other, that inner work is truly our inner work. And we're here to support, love, and honor. But as you said, we're not here to save, we're not here to fix, we're not here to change. We're just here to listen and be at that sacred supporting space. And I feel that's such a big one for many of us to understand, that when one is going through, is just to listen, to be, and to allow that to fully come forth in its most natural form. So I'm excited to come back. I'm excited for April. And I'm really excited for our members to recognize that the more that we keep expanding this, there's just going to be infinite amount of potential. And even myself, with like what I want to do, what I want to rise, and coming back, it just expands the gifts of what we can do for our ministry and our association. So I'm very
and feeding that. So that means, again, constantly changing it, constantly evolving it, constantly shifting it, constantly tweaking it. And we should have our website by the end of April, beginning of May. So that's exciting too. Thanks to Shariah. So that's very, very exciting.
Well, thank you everyone for listening today. very grateful that me and Honey could come on from all the way from Florida down to slightly to Mexico and out to the world, that we can blast our diamond ray, beautiful sacred energies, and end this March 31st in just very powerful way. So as we wake up tomorrow, we have a brand new month of April, this sacred energy of just moving deeper into spring, into rebirth, into newness, into seeding everything that we expand. Because I don't know how you feel, Honey, I just feel there's this extraordinary amount of forceful, universal force energy that just wants to come through and just allow that to be it's creativity and it's joy and it's fun. And I get the goosebumps when I say this, because it's like,
may you allow it, Aziza. May you really, really allow, because that's what it's springing forth, because it is time for it. It doesn't want to be held anymore. And this is part of catching yourself. Where is it being held? Where is it? And you got to allow it in opening that space. And it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game. And I'm excited to play this new game. Really, really excited to indulge in this new game that feels so much more right. I have to say. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's really, really fantastic. And I want to share also, we have Mariam Sodardi next Thursday. She is the one Q and answer. She's part of our global directory that creates this magnificent channel angelic paintings, personal paintings. She's going to come on for 15 minutes to share about what she does. So that's going to be really, really amazing. And Michael, may you fully allow all and just not get in your own way. Share it. I'm excited for you to be, just being a witness how you're going to share this, and really like not bottle it inside, but like bring it out and feed this area. So it's because it's beautiful for it to be seen.
Amazing. I feel like there's been many initiations in this time of Mexico. And the most incredible thing, as these initiations go through me, it's phenomenal to see the reaction, the response, and most important, the resiliency of how to move things that may just want to pull you into the different fields, and there's just so much that has just given me this like, wow, there's the old self, here's the new self. Now, how do you choose to move through density and spontaneity and just things that pop up on your trail each day, just to kind of show you where life is moving. And like I said, I'm very grateful that we could come on today, share this, and just know that we're all moving through some powerful changes, and to have that supportive community, to have a place where we can come together, to know that, as a spiritual group, we're able to be raw, be real, be held. And I feel it's so important that we can feel that in a global association that allows us to really feel united. There's a lot of people out there that just want to feel connected, and having this connective, sacred Divine Alchemy Ministry Association, we're able to keep pouring this labor of love in, because that's what we enjoy. That's what makes us feel happy. And the more we can do that, the more we know that we're, moving in our ascension plan as we came here to lead humanity to its divinity. Yes.
Thank you. And thank you so much, everyone. Much love to you. Happy April. And looking forward to seeing you. And Michael, I changed the Sacred Sunday Ascension service this Sunday to next week Sunday, which is Easter. It works better because you're on travel. So we'll see you guys next Sunday for that Sunday service. And that's going to be, it's going to be just perfect. It's perfect. It's that resurrection. So yeah, much love, everyone. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.